Hello and welcome to today's live broadcast and rebroadcast. Today we are going to be talking about my favorite things, intermittent fasting, women, and menopause. So if you're joining us live, welcome. I always take a second to ask you to please hit that subscribe button if you're joining us on YouTube, and if you're joining us on Facebook, please take a second to hit that like button. And anytime during this broadcast, always feel free to jump into the conversation. I love to hear from you. I love knowing that you're there. And any questions that you have about anything that I discussed today, always feel free to leave those in the comment sections as well. At the end of my discussion, I always go back through and make sure I welcome everyone and read all the comments and questions that you have. And for my rebroadcast viewers, I always ask the same of you as well. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that you are joining in the conversation. I always circle back around and make sure I answer any questions or comments that come through. So today, on Fridays, we usually have a For Today's Aging community discussion, but we have had so much interaction over this past week with the topic of women, intermittent fasting, and most specifically, menopause. So I thought I would take today to share some of my own personal experiences as a woman who is in menopause and who also used intermittent fasting as a lifestyle choice to balance out some of the things that I was suffering from as I was transitioning through perimenopause and menopause, and hopefully offer you some encouragement and some information that will help you decide what road you want to take as you're going through these hormonal changes as well. So if you missed my broadcast on Wednesday, I talked about the 3 hormones we women really need to think about as we're going through this sort of imbalance stage when everything is kind of just not feeling normal anymore. And we're frustrated with a lot of the things that happen when we are in a state of hormonal imbalance, with the, really frustrating weight gain that we can't use the old tips and tricks to get rid of easily, with the body fat that is suddenly accumulating on our body that we can't get rid of. If it is more serious, like the situation that I went through when I was suffering a lot of the brain fog and memory loss, and then ultimately had a pre-diabetic diagnosis, along with so many other things that I was suffering. I just wasn't living in my own skin anymore, and I felt really scared and uncomfortable about what I was going through. While I was going through all of this frustration and when I was feeling so sick, I also got to work on studying and researching and ended up getting my certification in nutrition and doing some sports studies as well. So I was on a mission to not only be able to educate myself and change what I was going through, but be able to pass that information on to this community as well. We have now had the pleasure of having thousands of women really incorporate this lifestyle in the means of simplicity and just really good common sense once we understand what our body is going through. It's fascinating to me how angry and frustrated women come at the research phase of this phase of life. And I understand that the things that we go through as we're going through menopause are scary and they are uncomfortable and they are frustrating. But this is the simplest way to live our life pre-menopause and post-menopause. And what I want to share with you are some really simple concepts of why this is really simple and what I think is really tripping up a lot of women. And I have to admit, I was tripped up in the very beginning myself. So we feel like for some reason as women, we need to have this permission or this proof in order to incorporate changes for ourselves. And I've been in this industry for a very long time and coaching women on nutrition and fitness and really trying to create a lifestyle where they can look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. And we as women, we don't ask permission for things that are easy for us and what we are accustomed to living in as far as our own comfort level. So nowhere did I ask for permission or need some sort of medical degree or some sort of scientific study to give me the comfort level to have a glass of wine at night, or have a couple of the goldfish that my daughter was having as a snack. Or none of us ever needed any kind of permission to be Diet Coke addicts if you were ever a Diet Coke lover or a Diet Soda lover. We just did it because it tasted good, it felt good, and that's what everybody else was doing. Why is it when there is something that seems too good to be true or is so simple and so common sense that we come at it with this almost desperate sense of, but I need proof, I need to see medical certifications in order to apply this common sense stuff that I'm hearing on the internet. I need to watch, thousands of other women do it first before I jump into it, when it is the most simplest way to live our lives. Why do we allow ourselves this window or this gap of life to live so sick and so frustrated and so beat up? You do not need permission to select a designated amount of hours within your day to put nothing in your body that is going to cause you to have some sort of chemical response. We talked on Wednesday about insulin being that hormone that is the king or queen of all the other hormones that we have going on in our body. And every single time we put that creamer in our coffee or that stevia in our coffee or have that little bite of the extra little things on the plate in the morning of our kids or our grandkids, or we just have that little innocent snack in the cupboard, or we have that little piece of candy in the candy dish, or whatever it is that we do, we are throwing ourselves in a state of hormonal imbalance. And guess what? You didn't need permission to do all of those things from some outside source. You just decided you were going to do that for yourself. And we have been doing that and living by that sense of our own, our own conjured up logic for years. Menopause is that time where our body is making a shift. We have to be willing to make the shift with our body. The hormone that is controlling all of the things that are going wrong with us is proving to be insulin. When you get to that state in perimenopause and menopause or in your older years where your brain stops functioning the way it used to, that is the result of insulin. When you are pre-diabetic, we already know that that's an insulin type of sugar disease, that we need to control our insulin and get it back into a balanced state in order to reverse those things. Hypoglycemia, insulin resistance, all of those things are the problems that we are having as women going through menopause, and intermittent fasting is the single best thing that we can do to reverse all of that frustration and reverse all that fear and reverse what we don't like going through the aging process. I think where we get tripped up as women is that we want someone to give us this perfect plan and tell us exactly what we need to do, and that's not realistic. What's realistic is taking the time to understand how your body is working chemically, what's causing those chemical reactions that you don't like, and creating a plan for yourself where you can live happy within the life that you have. All you need to do is pick a window of time within your 24-hour period and do nothing to create a chemical reaction in your body, allowing your body the opportunity to reset and adjust itself. You can't overcomplicate this, or you're going to feel angry and frustrated, and you're not going to allow your body the opportunity to heal itself. Intermittent fasting for women going through menopause is the best approach that we can take to have all the things that we want at this stage in our life. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. My brain is working as good as it ever has. My weight loss is not an issue for me anymore. I don't diet. I don't over-exercise. I'm not super preoccupied with how my body feels because it feels fantastic. I don't have to think about it anymore. For almost 5 years of intermittent fasting, and I have stayed the most consistent I ever had with a plan that involves food, exercise, and a social life. There's no better way to live your life if you want to have all aspects of your life where you don't have to feel like you're chasing the next best thing. It balances everything out for you. There's not one person out there that is going to be able to give you a prescription or a pre-designed plan that is going to make this magic for you. You have to take the responsibility to understand the stage that your body is going through and experiment enough to find out what's going to work for you. You can have it all as you age. Menopause does not have to be that dismal thing that we are kind of led to believe that it's supposed to be. You can reverse the signs of aging. You can reverse inflammation. You can reverse fine lines and wrinkles. You can reverse crepey skin. I just shared a post on Instagram, I think it was yesterday, and on Facebook yesterday, where I am seeing all those visible changes that I was hoping to see through fasting, because I am just getting out of my own way and I'm just relaxing in this lifestyle. You just have to figure out what it is that's going to make you happy, and then you have to just know that you're worth whatever it's going to take to get there. And once you get out of your own way mentally and emotionally about what food means for you, then fasting is simple and it makes sense and it's super inexpensive, and you don't have to worry about the next best thing because you're already going to be living in the best thing for us women. We have the opportunity to reverse Alzheimer's and dementia and aging and disease and weight gain and inflammation and autoimmune disorders, and you name it. We have had someone in this community who has started to practice intermittent fasting that can verify that whatever it is ailing you, you will find relief if you just relax in this. It shouldn't stress you out. It shouldn't make you super preoccupied mentally. It shouldn't make you aggressive or angry at someone who's not going to give you a perfectly planned out way for you to live your life every minute of the day. Relax in it and just trust the process and trust the people that have come before you. If you're not in a situation where you are fighting for your life because of some diagnosis that you just received, then intermittent fasting is just a way to live very naturally and in a very relaxed state. Knowing that there is just this epidemic that we have in our society today of overfeeding ourselves and oversoothing ourselves and being so predetermined to just cover up what ails us instead of fixing it. And we have the opportunity and the power now to fix what we're not happy with by simply doing nothing for a designated period within your 24-hour day, and you have the opportunity to let your body do the healing for itself. Don't let the word fasting scare you from one of the best opportunities and lifestyles that you can create for yourself. You're just picking a period of time where you're going to do nothing. You're not going to put any food in your mouth. You're not going to create a chemical reaction. And it doesn't have to mean that you're living within extremes. All you need to do is designate a period of time where you're going to reset your hormones. What we're finding here in this community is about that 3-week period, which is why there's that scientific data to back that up, right? It takes about 3 weeks to create a habit. If you really practice this like your life depends on it for about a 3-week period, you will be able to reset your hormones and be on your way to living a very happy and healthy life as a menopausal woman. We should not be so subcategorized that we should have to do this in a different way, or that there's all these things that we should be cautious about because we're women and we're menopausal. This lifestyle is designed for us. If we think about it, it's designed for us as menopausal women because of the fact that our body is going through so many changes that are not youthful anymore. Our human growth hormone is decreasing. Our collagen production is decreasing. If we're not keeping an eye on things, yes, we will lose lean muscle mass. Yes, we will lose our memory. Yes, we will have fine lines and wrinkles that we're not happy with. Yes, we will have that hormonal body weight setting in on us that we don't want to have around. Intermittent fasting should be the lifestyle that all menopausal women should be living because it makes the most sense for us. If there are studies out there to show that intermittent fasting or fasting in general has the possibility or the opportunity to reverse disease and reverse cancers, and they're showing now that there's all these amazing, like, big benefits to health that intermittent fasting can do for someone if they're really sick, then what if all we're battling is just aging? Don't we think that as women, we have the opportunity to take advantage of something that can be so powerful for so many, and that we should just trust that if it can fix really big, scary things for people who are fighting for their life with disease, then it should be able to also help us women who are frustrated with something at that level is as simple as just aging. We can take advantage of this. We do not need to be subcategorized into a special group of people that should be fasting some special way because our hormones are changing. Intermittent fasting will take care of that all on its own if you just understand how your body is working, what you're going through as a menopausal woman, and then just get out of the way and let your body do what it knows how to do best, and that is balance itself out. Trust me, I'm postmenopausal. I have been in menopause for a couple of years now, and there is nothing scary to me about what is going on in my life. There's nothing scary for me about my future because I am living in my skin that I'm comfortable with, because I've created an opportunity for me to be comfortable. No hormonal imbalances, no menopausal signs and signals, no sleepless nights, no inflammation, no unwanted body fat, no unwanted weight, no mental fog or dementia or Alzheimer's scary signals that I had 5 years ago when I was in my late 40s. At 53, I am so much healthier, so much happier, and so much younger than I was in my late 40s. So please don't make this more complicated than it needs to be. Please don't put yourself in such a special class of people that you have to make this a more complicated lifestyle than it needs to be. The biggest tip I can give women who are feeling frustrated and scared about what's happening to their body through menopause is get into a group of like-minded women. That is why we have this community here, for everyone to hang out together and share their stories, share their successes, share that where it is that they're feeling stuck or scared, because you're not alone. We are a huge group of women. We're a huge demographic of women. And the more we stay isolated and the more we feel like we're alone and the only ones going through this, the scarier it seems. What we need to do is band together and share our stories so that we know we're not alone and that there is a better way of living our life as we're going through what I consider the best years of our lives. And we should be able to do that with all of the energy and enthusiasm and positivity that we could possibly have, and more importantly, what we deserve to live it with. So join us here. Make sure you stay connected. You're not alone. You are not a subgroup of people who should be treated so specially that you have to do things so intricately different. It's the same for everyone. Time and consistency will prove to be the thing that you need as a woman who's going through menopause, who can practice intermittent fasting. And then don't look for permission of all the things that you can and cannot do. You need to figure that out for yourself by experimenting with things. And if you don't like the way something feels, or you don't like the way something makes you look, then that's something that's not for you, and you just have to try something else. We are not cookie cutter type of people. We're women. We're super unique. We're individuals, and we need to take the time and we need to give ourselves the permission to create the lifestyle that works best for us. And we need to stop having people tell us what we need to do as far as taking care of ourselves nutritionally. We know what to do. We just like to use those really convenient excuses to put ourselves in that position where we find ourselves frustrated at the end and wishing we would have made better decisions. So don't do that to yourself anymore. You deserve better there as well. You guys know we have our course, which is the best place to hang out with like-minded women. For 3 weeks, I take you through this process. 3 weeks is the amount of time you need to balance out your hormones. We do that together as a group, and you do get help, and you do get the comfort of knowing that you're not alone going through this change and learning how to nourish our bodies in a completely different way. You have the support of other women who are going through it, and you have the support of me as well. So if you're looking for a place to do this where you have a community of women, we have our course. It starts on November 2nd. I would love to have you with us. And we have some graduates that come in here and share what they learned in the course as well. So hold on to their success and hold on to the comments that they leave here when they stop by, so that you know that you have the same opportunity for that that type of success as well. So I'm gonna jump on here and welcome everyone who's here. So if you've been in our course before, always feel free to leave a comment. It really does help women who are new to this and are feeling scared and a little bit alone for sure. Martha, thanks for jumping on. Renee, 2018 grad, still using the tools and tweaking with your information provided here on your live streams. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Renee, and we love having our grads come back for sure. And I know that you're thriving in this amazing lifestyle that you created for yourself. Jane is with us. Nicole, just found you on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for all your info. One quick question. Does the crystallized lemon, true lemon, break your fast? Yes, it does. Especially when you're in that state of hormonal imbalance and you're not in your, the 3 hormones we talked about the other day, insulin, leptin, and ghrelin. When they're kind of controlling your day, you really have to get through that clean fasting window when you're fasting in the beginning so that you give your body an opportunity to balance itself out. And then you can kind of experiment with some things for sure. And if you're not liking how you're looking and feeling when you experiment, then you got to take that out. My best fasting windows are the windows that I fast clean for sure. And then Helen, I get to 16 hours fast and I'm so hungry. What can I do to push through it to a 20-hour fast? It does my head in. Well, if you haven't taken our course yet, I highly recommend going through our course. I explain all of that in the very first week. So what you're doing is you're at a 16-hour fast. You're not giving your body enough time to just balance itself out. And there's reasons for that, and there's tips and tricks to get through that. So I would recommend coming in the course. If you've already been through the course and you still haven't figured it out, I would log back into your course and go through those lessons in the first week again and just refresh your memory about why it's so important to get to that 20-hour fast, and that'll help you for sure. Let's see who we have here on YouTube today. Judith. Doing ADF, doing and feeling fantastic. Have a great weekend. Yeah, you also, I think it's alternate day fasting is ADF. Nadia, hello from Michigan. Teresa, good to see you from Tennessee, girlfriend. Holly, September 2019 grad and in your mindset class now. Always great to listen to you. Thanks, Holly. It's always good to have you with us, and you're doing great in the mindset course for sure. Arizona from the Bahamas. Nice to have you join us, girlfriend. Lori from Minnesota. Susie, it's really okay every day. I'm getting some info saying no, but you are proof of yes, it is okay. So why would intermittent fasting not be okay to do every day? So you have to think about why people are saying that, who is saying that, and what personal experience they have that make them come to that conclusion. So everyone has their philosophies, and I always say you have to kind of test out what it is that you're hearing on the internet. But if I fasted every other day, I would still be sick. So you have to think about the common sense of intermittent fasting and what intermittent fasting does for you in a fasted state. And then you have to just rationale all of that advice and go, why wouldn't I fast every day? And what is eating the way you're eating doing for you? And if eating the way you're eating has put you in a state of sickness or in a state of aging faster than you should be aging, or whatever it is that you're unhappy with, that you're searching for something else, then you have to use that logic that you can form for yourself and then question why you wouldn't fast every day. I fast only on the days that I want to look and feel my best. And that's the philosophy and advice that I give to every woman for sure. Connie, August 18 grad, also in the midlife mindset shift class now. Connie, it's so good to have you with us. Julia, joining live from Vermont. I'm in the October class and I'm feeling amazing. I have so much more energy than I ever did before. Thank you for all the tips and tricks. I just signed up for the next course. Awesome. So Julia is in our October class. You guys, it is October 18th, and we started what day, Michael? October 5th or 6th or something like that? So 13 days. She is already feeling like she has more energy than ever before. She's fasting every day. I teach women in the course to fast for 20 hours. She is creating an opportunity for herself to completely change her health and her life moving forward. And you guys, it's the simplest thing to do. So I am so happy for you, Julia, and it just gets better from here, trust me. Kathy, because we don't want to really sacrifice food. Yeah, but food is not our friend when it becomes something that works against us. So food has been designed to nourish our body, or food is on the planet, I guess is what I should say, to nourish our body. Food has been designed, meaning it's not natural, to entertain us, soothe us, help us through stressful situations, help us feel better when we break up with someone. What else? It helps us to celebrate, right? None of those things are going to lead us to us looking and feeling our best in the long term. Those are short term, quick fix chemical things that we do, which is like a drug. So food is one of the most overused legal drugs that we have outside of smoking and alcohol. When we think about it that way, it makes sense why we end up being so sick. But it's socially acceptable to abuse food. It's socially acceptable to put food in our life that way. So we have to really make that paradigm shift. And that's what we talk about in our midlife mindset shift courses. Why are we creating this life where we're so miserable when it's just food? Food should be so simple. We should use it to nourish our body and prolong our life, not shorten our life and make us feel miserable while we're living it. So yes, we do have to make sure we think differently about food. And then Danny, Good Friday, Diane and Michael. Danny from October 2018 grad. Good to have you with us. Monica, well said. Weight Watchers got me switched to Diet Coke so many years ago and no one questioned it. Switched to IF and now everyone questions my decisions. Exactly. Like, when you say you're not going to eat for a certain amount of hours in a day, people freak out as they're having their bagel and cream cheese with their coffee and creamer, or their donuts, or their this and their that. And all those foods are okay. Like, I'm not saying food is bad, but you can't have food that way and then complain about how miserable you are, or how frustrated you are with how much weight you've gained, or how frustrated you are with this, that, and the other thing. And you can't slow down enough to realize that there's a problem with your food. And if you just take the problem away, then you'll feel so much better. And then when you're in a feasted state, enjoy the food you're feasting on. Like, that's great. We don't want to become so food phobic that we fear food. You just have to make sure that you're putting it in the right place. And then when you're in a feasted state, you enjoy the food that you're choosing to feast on, for sure. Nancy, hi from Florida, in the October class, and I'm fasting between 18 and 20 hours fairly easily now. Feasting is more challenging. Okay, so feasting is more challenging because you're shooting for perfection, and we have to go back to common sense, right? So if you exit a fasted state and going into a feasted state, and what you're feasting on doesn't make you feel good, then it's not the right chemical makeup for you, and you have to choose different foods. So we know the difference between nutrient dense foods, and then we know the difference between those foods that we question. If you find yourself in a position where you're questioning a lot, those might not be the foods that you want to put in your feasted state. Life will always create opportunities where we can have fun food. Life will always create the opportunities where we can have the junk food, or whatever it is that you classify in that category. Life will always present the opportunities when we can, veer off being as disciplined about our feasting window. But when you have the opportunity to feast on nutrient-dense food, you should always take advantage of that opportunity, for sure. So don't think about it so much. Just use good common sense practice about nutrition. Let's see. Shelly, September grad, currently in the midlife and F3 courses, doing second extended fast. Is it normal first thing in the morning to have high ketone levels, then after water, black coffee, and exercise to drop to low? Shelly, we did a whole lesson on that in the mindset shift course, so make sure you go back and listen to that lesson for sure about morning blood glucose and ketone levels. And then Una,
you missed a couple people above her.
Okay, let's see. Claire, I lost a kilo in the first couple of weeks of fasting and have since been doing 16-8 and have stayed stable at that weight. I'm trying to up it to a couple of longer fasts, 18 to 24. Yeah, for sure. So anytime you don't like where you're at, change something. I always say have a really good nutrient-dense feasting day, or extend your fasting. And that kind of just will shake things up a little bit for you. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. So keep us posted on that one for sure. And then Christy from California, happy Friday, September 2019 grad. Hopefully you're doing well, Christy. Una, sorry, I fell off the train trying to get back. Don't be sorry, just get back for sure. And then Carrie just this week started doing 18 to 20 hour fasting after a year of 16-8 and hitting a plateau. and being so tired. Was afraid I wouldn't be able to. So grateful for your sharing and showing up for us. Yeah, for sure. And anytime you make a change, there's an adjustment period. So you have to give yourself the grace and patience that you need to get through the change, for sure. It sounds like you're doing that as well. And then Kimberly from North Carolina, I've been doing 20-hour fasting for 4-hour eating window, but I'm still using MCT oil in my tea in the mornings. Will this be okay to continue, or should I try to wean off of it? It depends, Kimberly, if you're liking the results that you're getting and why it is that you're fasting. So for most of us, the 20-hour clean fast is the best. But again, you have to kind of figure that out for you. I'm not here to say there's absolutely one right way to do things and all these wrong way to do things. You have to figure out what works best for you. And for some people, they thrive when they put something in their coffee in the morning and they find that they're getting really great results. So test it out both ways and then find which way works best for you, for sure. I always just recommend that when you're just starting out and you don't know like what's firing right and what's firing wrong, and you're really unhappy with several things in your life, that the best way to get back to that reset point is a good 20-hour clean fast, for sure. And then Susie, everything you said is true. It all takes time and consistency. Yes, for sure, Susie. And we can't forget common sense. Why is it that our mindset is so set on, we need permission, or we need someone to tell us exactly what to do, or we can't think on our own 2 feet? We know what good nutrition is. Let's go back to the common sense stuff. We don't have a conversation with ourselves trying to convince ourselves to eat a nice salad when we go out to dinner. But man, we'll spend all kinds of time trying to convince ourselves why we should have the nachos, or why we should have this, or why we should have that. And that just makes our stress so much worse. So just use good common sense practices most of the time. And then when you have the opportunity to loosen the reins and maybe do some of those things that you feel like you're missing, I don't know, build those in, but just know that you are going to have a different feeling in your body and a different reaction than when you are really solid about the choices that you're making. I take myself in these different levels of what I want to do in my feasting depending on where I am with the results that I want. And I've had seasons of life where I have said, there's no way you're going to tell me that this food is bad for me. I love it. And I've kept it in my window. And then when I had like aha moments about it, and I was like asking myself why I was holding this one little thing so sacred to me and why I couldn't let it go, and I decided to let it go, magic happened and changes were happening. And the last little thing that I have discovered in what was holding me from being my absolute best has been alcohol. The casual glass of wine, the casual margarita when I go out to dinner, the casual this or that. And when I got rid of the casual that wasn't really like serving my life in any positive way, so many amazing things started happening that I was expecting to happen with alcohol still in my life. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with alcohol for anyone, but it was that thing that was really holding me from getting to that next level that I wanted to go to, with fasting longer and feeling more comfortable with what it was I wanted with my physique, or being able to run faster when I'm running on the treadmill. There's no athlete out there that is drinking casual wine and margaritas and showing up their best physically. So if I was going to create these goals for myself where I wanted to be at a new level of physical fitness, I can't act like I'm not trying to be an athlete and allow all those little things in my life. So we do have to have those kind of like come to Jesus meetings every now and then with ourselves and go, okay, why am I allowing this thing to stay in my life when I do know common sense that this is keeping me from being my best? So we have to do those every now and then and make those adjustments as well. I'm here, I've been fasting this week for 41 hours with fats to keep me going. Was easy and I feel good. I did drink green tea. Should I drink only water? August course and the graduate one. Shulamit, I would say if you are feeling good and you had the green tea and it's helping you and you feel like you're getting all the benefits of what you're doing, then just keep going with the flow on that for sure. Green tea is definitely one of those things that they're saying helps with fasting and extended fasting for sure. And I think if you're just doing it to kind of, get yourself into that deeper state of healing and you're not trying to reverse some serious medical thing, then green tea is definitely not going to hurt you at all. I would say just go for it. Analyze how this fast went. And then if you want to do another one, reevaluate if you're going to put that green tea in or not. Remember, this is something that we're doing for a lifetime, right? So we have the freedom and flexibility and opportunity to change things up. Try a fast with something in it and see what the result was that you got out of it. Then try a fast again and take that thing out and see what the result was. What I love so much about this lifestyle and the fact that there aren't so many hard fast rules that we have to go by is that you can experiment with some things and you can try some things and analyze whether it was good for you or not good for you. And then you can go back to doing something else. You don't have to report into everyone exactly what you're doing. Create some flexibility and some trial and error for sure. Yvonne Goodrich, good to see you, girlfriend. I miss you and haven't seen you for a while. And then Shauna, currently enrolled and doing great. I love hearing from our current students for sure. And then Yvonne, I have never checked ketones. I know me, I'd become obsessed. Okay, Yvonne, Michael and I were worried about that as well, and what we love about it, it's sort of like a hobby for us, and it's super fun to check. And then you just have to create boundaries just like anything else. So we're loving it, and it's creating some amazing insight for us. So if you're ever ready to jump in, reach out to me and I'll help you get started, and I won't allow you to be obsessed for sure. I'll teach you how we do it, where it really is a tool and kind of a hobby for us. And then Barbara from Italy, thank you for joining us. And then came across someone who insists we must take hormone replacement because our body stops producing them after menopause. How does fasting balance out hormones when our body no longer produces them? Well, it depends on what hormones you are talking about. Like, I am on no hormone replacement therapy at all. I'm 53 years old. So it depends on what you need those hormones for. When I went to go to see my doctor about, when I was in menopause, she's like, your hormones are going to be out of balance. So I can test you, but you're out of balance. So what do you want to do with that? There are theories out there that say, and studies out there that say women have to take hormone replacement therapy. I don't like to mess with nature in that way. That's my personal philosophy on hormone replacement. It's no different than all the scary things about taking birth control pills and controlling our hormones that way as well. My body does not do well when I put hormones in it that are not my own. And so I cannot do any kind of hormone replacement therapy at all, and I consider it a blessing for me. I can't even go into that territory. I'm doing fine as a 53-year-old woman. If my body needs to decrease hormones because that's how I was designed, then I let it just do that, and I let the natural aspect of what I can do with other hormones do its thing, do their thing when I just move out of the way. So that is always a personal decision that I think you should make. I don't think you should be pressured into taking hormone therapy if you don't feel like you're a good candidate for it. And then you have to do your research to understand the risks and the benefits, and make sure that the benefits are going to so far outweigh the risks that you're going to be okay in any aspect of how those hormones are going to affect you. I do know that there's a lot of women in this community who are on hormone replacement therapy and ended up with cancers, and they feel as if they wouldn't have taken the hormone replacement therapy, that they wouldn't be in a cancer situation. So we can't ever completely draw those lines and connect them together. But in my opinion, I don't want to do anything that's going to go against what nature has designed my body to go through. So don't feel pressured into it. You have to create the lifestyle that's going to work best for you. And if you're looking for menopausal signs and symptoms relief, and you're looking for some anti-aging benefits, we have a whole community of women here that can share with you how, and myself included, how intermittent fasting and really understanding what nutrition is doing for you can do all of those things without having to put a prescription in your body, for sure. Human growth hormone is one of the big hormones that you want naturally produced in your body, and fasting just does that for you. And then Kimberly, I like that we don't have to have all the answers right now. This is a lifetime change, and we have to test things out as long as we stay consistent moving forward. That's powerful. Yeah, it's super powerful, and it's freeing, because most of us have lived our lives, I know myself included, following some scheduled thing of measured, calculated, weighed out food plans that didn't work for us. I mean, we were young. Like, I could have done anything and changed my weight. You could just stop eating sugar and I would lose weight. I could exercise more and lose weight. But we got so caught up and we have to follow some predetermined diet that we mindlessly followed other people. If you are a student in my class, I don't have you mindlessly follow me. I make you think. I make you think about your life. I make you think about the things that make you happy. I make you think about how you want to live your life, and then you have to make decisions for yourself, and that's the way it should be. You should not be pressured to be on prescriptions. You should not be pressured to be on hormone replacement therapy. You should not be pressured to be a vegan or a gluten-free or dairy-free. You should put things in your body and make an informed decision off your own personal experience with how those things make you look and feel. And that should be your decision-making process. There's no all good and there's no all bad. And if you're constantly trying to find what is all good or all bad, you're going to be exhausted and you're going to be very disappointed because you're never going to find it. So we really have to start thinking for ourselves and the quality of life that we want to live, for sure. And Carolyn, thank you so much for jumping on with us as well. Yvonne, you're welcome. No HRT for me either. You don't need them. Have a sweet potato instead. Yeah. You know, once we understand real food and we understand what real food can do for us chemically, then we can really manipulate how our body is going to respond chemically. And that is really what we're trying to do here, for sure. Even exercise stimulates hormones, and we don't ever think about exercise in that way, right? We think about exercise as a desperate attempt to undo bad food decisions. That's how most of us have been raised to incorporate exercise in our life. But exercise is now proving to actually change and improve the anatomy of our brain and our brain functioning. Exercise should be that thing that we do so that we can carry our groceries in our house. Exercise should be that thing that we do so that we can walk around the park with our grandkids or chase our kids through the park or go down the slide with them. Exercise should be what we do to improve the future quality of our life and not the punishment that we endure to make up for bad decisions of our past. So we really do have to start thinking about how it is that we want to live our life and then be informed and conscious about how our body is feeling when we live out those decisions, for sure. So there's a better way. We should not be subcategorized. Like I said, you can fast as a menopausal woman. You can fast as a perimenopausal woman. It will be the thing that will help you regulate your body, help you get your hormones balanced out, and help you live a very happy, healthy, and successful life as an aging woman. Just give it a try. Trust me, you will love it. And then come back into our community here and share all the success that you're having with this lifestyle. And if you need some extra help and some extra love and care from a community of women, and you want to have the lessons displayed to you about why all of this is so good and why our hormones are the way they are and how it is we're incorporating food, then the course that we have available starting on the 2nd would be a perfect place for you to get started. We're going to head out. We're going to go pick our daughter up from school and have an amazing weekend. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend as well. For my midlife mindset students, we have a course coming, new content coming for you on Monday. Keep doing what you're doing in that course. And for my October students, make sure that you're checking into your course as well. Our 3rd week is a very powerful week where we're talking about all the things social and emotional with this lifestyle. Make sure you check into your course. You're absolutely going to love it. And then we'll see you guys on Monday right back here at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be talking about something else with intermittent fasting, women, and us as menopausal women as well. Have a good weekend.